This is Mary McPhail. Welcome to this edition of Southwest Ohio Magazine from the Museum Center at Union Terminal in Cincinnati. Please join us as we explore the new Cinergy Children's Museum, the Museum of Natural History and Science, the History Museum, and OmniMax Theater. And we're here today at Cincinnati's Union Terminal Museum Center with Rodger, the Museum Center's Public Relations Manager. And Rodger, I'd like you to tell our viewers a little bit about the history of this wonderful building and a little of what you're doing here today.
Certainly, it is a wonderful building. It was built in the 1930s. It actually started construction in 1930 and opened to the public in 1933. It was known as Cincinnati Union Terminal, and it was the train station for pretty much the Midwest, definitely the central, the sort of locating point. As a matter of fact, it served as a very important spot for World War II. A lot of soldiers came in and out of this building, and this was sort of their interaction with the United States, either coming from or going to the war. And like I said, it opened in the 30s and then had a nice heyday in the 1940s. And then it actually is still used as a train station. A lot of people don't realize that. We have a couple of trains coming in and out in the middle of the night. And then in the 1980s, it also had a brief sort of stint as a shopping mall. And actually in the rotunda right down behind us here, you'd see racks of clothing and everything else. And then toward the end of the 80s, there was a sort of a cause to save Union Terminal and find a good use for it. And they came up with an idea of a museum center because it had so much space, definitely could fit a lot of stuff. So in 1990 then, we opened as Museum Center, and at the time we had the Cincinnati History Museum, the Museum of Natural History and Science, and the OmniMax Theater.
And you've grown a lot since then, and I know for those of us who do remember its several incarnations, first as a railroad station and then of course as a shopping center, to see this building with its Art Deco history and the largest half dome still standing in the world, which has survived now as the museum center, is just remarkable. And your facilities now actually include as well the Cinergy Children's Museum, which is your most recent opening. Tell us a little bit about that facility.
Certainly. We just opened that in October of 1998, so it's still very new. But despite its youth, it's performing amazingly. Kids and families are loving it all around town. I understand we already reached 135,000 visitors just since we opened. It's been tremendous, and we're happy to have at Museum Center the ability to sort of serve everybody in the family. You can start from the young children who can enjoy the Children's Museum. The Museum of Natural History and Science really appeals to teenagers, and then the Cincinnati History Museum can appeal to the entire family, but certainly some of the older Cincinnatians like to come and see some of the older things in Cincinnati. And of course the OmniMax Theater, who doesn't like that? So we have a place here that can serve the entire family.
Well, Rodger, that's true, and in fact, all of the different areas of each museum have many interactive exhibits as well. So while certain areas may appeal more to certain age groups, I know even the very youngest children can have just a wonderful time in the other museum features because there are interactive exhibits and docents on hand to answer questions. Isn't that true?
That is absolutely true. We try to, of course, the Children's Museum will appeal to children, but all of the other museums also have aspects that the kids really enjoy, as well as older adults. So we definitely want to appeal to everybody.
Well, thanks for your time today, and I know we're anxious to show all our viewers some of the wonderful facilities here and allow them to meet some of the great employees that you have working here that will help them show the museum in the best light so that people will come down here and visit as soon as they have the opportunity. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thanks for coming. Great.
And I'm here now with Lee Drake, the Exhibit Programs Coordinator for the History Museum here at Union Center. And I would like to ask you about all the exhibits within the History Museum that people can come see.
Sure. Right now there's a number of exhibits that folks can see here. Starting with the early settlement exhibit, it looks at the history of Cincinnati from the middle of the 18th century to right about the time of the Civil War, right around 1860. Lots of different activities along the way that folks can see and kids can enjoy also. You can stop at where an 1760s trader sets up shop and look at his wares. Dunlap Station, which is a settlers area that was over in Coleraine Township. stop there and see how folks lived in the 1790s. Real nice canal interactive, which is it's a model of the Miami and Erie Canal, and it's real popular with kids. There's the flatboat area, which is a mock-up of a flatboat that settlers used to come down the Ohio to Cincinnati in 1829. And then the best part of it probably has got to be the public landing, which is where we're at now, which gives folks a real good idea what the public landing looked like around 1860, before all the stadiums and coliseums and things like that. Also, we have our World War II Homefront exhibit, which is being slightly changed right now to make way for a new exhibit, but you folks can still go through that and see what Cincinnati was like during the Second World War, how businesses re-geared for the war effort, how folks had to make changes and sacrifices at home, and some of the experiences of Cincinnatians who served in the military. And do you want me to talk about the new exhibit?
Well, yeah, I know. There's some construction going on in the Cincinnati Goes to War exhibit, which is one of my favorite exhibits, and I understand that you're making an expansion to take those years on forward in Cincinnati's history. So why don't you tell our viewers what you're preparing to open?
Yes. Well, the big thing is I want folks to understand that the World War II exhibit's going to be around still. A lot of people have been worried when they saw us working on it that we're taking it away. We're not. Making some changes in it. We had to shorten it a little bit. It's not going to be quite as big as before, but it's still going to be there. And what's going to be taking part of its space is a miniature version of Cincinnati that will go from around 1900 to about 1945. It's built around a model train, which is going to be an S scale. And to give folks an idea of the size of that, the model of the crew tower will be about it'll stand about 8 feet tall. So that's how big this is. The first part of that will be done by this coming Christmas, so folks can come in and see that. And along with that, there'll be interactives that talk about the city's history and architecture, and people like Vinhold Rice, the fellow who was did the mosaics here in Union Terminal, and a lot of other things along with it. So it's going to be quite an exhibit. Well,
I'll tell you what, Lee, this is actually one of my favorite parts of the entire museum center. And if you ever wanted to know anything about Cincinnati's history, you certainly feel you are walking the same path that our ancestors trod as they settled this area of the country and as they built their companies and industries into what we know here today. And you all have done a wonderful job of making your presentation to the public, and I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure.
So we'll have to see everyone here soon, huh?
Hope they come.
And I'm here now with Pam Jackson, Exhibit Program Specialist for the Museum of Natural History and Science here at Museum Center. And Pam, tell us a little bit about the exhibit we're in right now.
Well, right now we're in the Ice Age, about 19,000 years ago, the Cincinnati area, and directly behind us is the elk moose, but you can also see things like the giant beaver, the saber-toothed cat, flat-headed peccaries on the trail as well.
Well, and I notice you have other exhibits surrounding this one that include having the animals without their skins, so the actual skeletons that have been found that allowed you to reconstruct these animals.
Correct. You can see them right before you come to the Ice Age Trail.
And tell us about some of the other areas and interactive exhibits for families and children to actually experience while they're in the Museum of Natural History and Science.
Well, there's an area called Earth Stories. There are cases lighted, and you walk along and listen, and you can kind of see how they start to find an object and go through the whole process of preparing it, cleaning it, and actually putting it on display.
And there's a children's discovery area as well upstairs, I understand?
That's right. There's a focus on anatomy and physiology. There's mainly hands-on activities for children and their families. So you can even do things like test your senses, like your eyesight or your sense of smell. There's an area called All About You. It's a window where you can see people give demonstrations. The staff and youth during the weekends will put on displays for the public, and you can ask questions.
Well, Pam, I have to tell you, one of the very favorite places in this museum for all my nieces and nephews is the cave. And tell us a little bit about the wonderful cave here at the museum.
Well, our cave actually has two trails, a beginner's and an advanced trail. The beginner's trail is accessible for handicap as well as strollers and small children. The advanced trail has more twists and turns and actually goes down into the cave where you can view a chamber that contains our live big brown bat colony.
Well, and the kids always enjoy seeing the live bats because that's what makes it a cave, I think, for the little ones. And I know there are a lot of tunnels they can crawl in, shelves they can get up on, and it really is a wonderful interactive display. And tell our viewers how this cave was constructed.
Well, we actually went down into Kentucky and took molds from a couple of caves down there and came back up and constructed it. Our cave is a prototype for many other museums which have caves. Ours is the largest man-made cave in the world.
Wow. Well, that's certainly a recommendation. Our viewers have to come check this out. And Pam, thank you so much for your time today. I know our viewers will be real excited to come down here and meet you and the rest of the staff members at your Museum of Natural History and Science and get a chance to see all the interactive displays. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, Rodger has graciously agreed to rejoin me so that we can discuss the fabulous OmniMax Theater here at the Museum Center. And Rodger, tell our viewers about OmniMax.
It's the Robert D. Lindner Family OmniMax Theater, and it's been here since we opened the Museum Center in 1990, and it's just an amazing film experience that actually puts you pretty much in the picture. If you can imagine 5 stories of screen, it just immerses you in whatever you have. So OmniMax has the ability to take you just about anywhere it wants to go.
Well, and I've seen all but 2 of the OmniMax productions over all this time, and each one is so fabulous. Grand Canyon, as we discussed earlier, was one of my very favorites, and you really do feel like you're able to visit places on our planet and even out in space that you have never been before. And you have some coming attractions, I understand?
We do. Starting February 13th, we're actually going to open Africa's Elephant Kingdom, all about our wonderful pachydermy friends. And then we're going to also show The Magic of Flight, which is showing right now, and that'll continue to show at 8 o'clock once we open Africa's Elephant Kingdom. So you actually have the ability to see a double feature in an evening. You could see a 7 o'clock show of Africa's Elephant Kingdom and an 8 o'clock show of Magic of Flight, just like that.
Wow, and tell our viewers some of the show times and pricing for OmniMax so that they can make their plans to come down here.
Certainly. During the weekends, we show every hour on the hour, starting at about 11 a.m. and going to usually about 9 p.m. And some different holidays, we have some different show times. And during the summer, we also show it a lot more. And then during the week, we also show during the day 1, 2, and 3 p.m. as well as in the evenings. So there's definitely plenty of chances to see it always on the hour. OmniMax tickets are $6.50 for adults and $4.50 for children. And it's definitely well worth the admission.
Oh, no question. And in fact, it's less expensive than going to a regular movie feature. And these features, as Rodger said, are on a huge, huge screen with wonderful speaker capabilities that puts you right in the middle of the action. Now, Rodger, we're at one end of the rotunda at the OmniMax Theater, and I know all the entrances to the various museums are off the main rotunda, but tell our viewers a little bit more about some of the other facilities located in the main rotunda of the Museum Center.
Certainly, you can access the newsreel theater off of the rotunda, and the newsreel is interesting. It's part of that one of the historical aspects of the building, because actually when people were waiting for their trains, they used to go into the newsreel theater to watch the newsreels at the time. Of course, TV wasn't exactly prevalent. So this is how they got their news, was watching the newsreels. And we've kept it intact and restored it as best we can to its original state. So it's sort of a step back in time to go into the newsreel. We also have our 2 gift shops, also located off the rotunda. Plenty of things to buy, some interesting things sort of from each museum and all the different specialities there. And then we also have a full-service caterer right here in the rotunda, so you really can make a day of it. Enjoy the museums, come out, eat some food, go see an OmniMax film, go see another museum. You're able to do everything in one stop.
No question, and in fact, I want to tell you that periodically in my family, there are several of us that do come to the Museum Center to purchase art prints and books in those gift shops, as well as beautiful bookends and various gift items for the children at Christmas time. So I heartily recommend that our viewers stop in the gift shops when they're in the terminal, and I believe they can also get a little dessert here. Isn't that true?
That's absolutely correct. In our Rookwood Pavilion, we have a Rookwood pottery sort of room over there where UDF ice cream is served daily.
I'll join you later for an ice cream cone.
Okay,
Thanks,
great.
Rodger.
Thank you very much.
And I'm here now with Lowellette Lauderdale, who is the Special Exhibits Program Coordinator for the Children's Museum, the Cinergy Children's Museum, here at the Union Terminal Museum Center. And Lowellette, tell us about the different areas for children here in your museum.
Oh my goodness, there are so many. There are 9 exhibit halls, and they're all fantastic. We can start with the woods, which actually goes up to 3 levels. It is accessible. It's an outdoor area with a waterfall, live animals, the whole works. Then you can move over to Waterworks, where children can really experiment with the forces of water. What does water do? What can you make it do? Which is great fun. A lot of collaboration is necessary to work in Waterworks. Animal spot. What makes an animal an animal? You need to know these things. You don't inherently know these. And so we have, again, some live animals and some collection pieces in Animal Spot where they can learn about animals. We have Energy Zone, which is really about simple machines. It's great fun. It's so fun to watch the children really work in that area and experiment what works, what doesn't work, and learn about simple machines in the process. Then we have Kids Town, which is really designed for children ages 3 to 6, but older children, younger children enjoy it too. It's a little town. We have a grocery store, we have a fix-it shop, a veterinarian's clinic, a house where you can, after you've bought your food at the grocery store, you can come over and prepare it. We have a diner in case you don't feel like that. You want to go eat out, you can do that. And there's another little house with some dolls, some doll play. We have Kids at Work, which is construction. Big crane, you can move some big loads of rocks around, not real rocks. There are Duplos, wood blocks, some arches that you can make. It's been really, really fascinating to watch them build with those things, and Bria sets. And we have Children Just Like Me, which is a wonderful multicultural hall, looking at children from around the world and what their homework looks like. What do they eat? How do they dress? What's their family like? So we have that. Then we have one hall that is the only hall that's age restricted, and that is Little Sprouts Farm, where we're sitting now, and that is for children birth through age 4. And it's open for families to come and enjoy the resources we have here. We also have the Parent Resource Center in Little Sprouts Farm. If a child, no matter what age, just needs to get away, needs a little quiet spot, they can come in, relax. There's also information on child development, parenting skills, all kinds of things here. We try to be a resource for anything you could want.
Well, I've been really impressed. As we toured the Cinergy Children's Museum earlier this morning, I was just really taken by the incredible detail that's gone into each of the exhibit areas and the number of interactive displays. You were talking about some of the things the children do themselves, and I noticed that there are displays where children can play dress up, and as you said, they can shop at the store. It must be wonderful to work here. What's your background and how long have you been with the museum?
Well, I've been with the museum for a year now, and my background, I've taught in schools, both public and private, preschool through grade 2, for about 10 years now, and just about finished my master's in early childhood education, child development, child and family development. So I have that as well, and have worked in other educational fields too.
Well, I'll tell you, we're really impressed with it, and I have to tell our viewers that the staff that works at this children's museum has just been wonderful, and to see them interact with all the children and really get down and play with them, it's a wonderful spot. So if you're not comfortable when you first get here jumping in with the kids, they've got a great staff that will show you how. Isn't that true?
Oh, very much. That is what we're about. It's all interaction, hands-on. It's a great place. You can come, you can learn about your child. Your child can learn about you. You can play together and learn about the world around you while you're here.
And it fosters wonderful questions and answers.
Oh, definitely. That's one thing we try to do. If we try not to give answers. If somebody's working with something in energy zone, trying to get the Bernoulli's blower to work, but just having a little bit of problems, we'll say, well, I wonder what would happen if. And we allow, it's really about discovery. It really is, and learning on your own and working it through yourself. It's very interactive, and we encourage parents too to play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lowellette, it's a real pleasure to meet you today, and I know our viewers will be real excited to come down here and check out this new Cinergy Children's Museum.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you too.
Thanks. I'm here with Barbara Witchker, who's the Director of Merchandising for the gift shops at the Museum Center. And Barbara, tell us about these wonderful gift shops.
Thank you. The two stores here at the Museum Center all carry merchandise or items that are related to our collections that we house here at the Museum Center. And we have two stores. One store is called the Collector's Gallery, and in that particular store we have art prints, books, Cincinnati memorabilia, special gem and gemstone jewelry, gifts for the collector or someone just looking for that particularly special gift. In our fun store, which we're in right now, is called Store to Explore, and it is certainly suited to children looking for fun gifts and items to play with, mom and dad for educational items, grandma and grandpa for gifts to take to children that they may be visiting. And also in this store, we do have a unique collection of adult and children's books, and that's a very timely topic right now with education and reading materials being so important in the classroom as well as to mom and dad.
Well, I'll tell you what, Barbara, as I said in one of our other segments, we have shopped in these gift shops ourselves a number of times for books and gifts and stocking stuffers as well.
Right. We do have many small items that start anywhere from a quarter and 50 cents up to a $5 and $10 range, and that is a great stocking stuffer for a child to buy a parent or for mom and dad to buy the kids. So we do carry a wide variety of that type of merchandise.
Well, to our viewers, I'll say if you come down to Union Terminal and the Museum Center, come in and see Barbara and her staff, and they'll certainly help you pick out a wonderful gift for that special child or adult on your list.
Right. We certainly will, and we are open daily, Monday through Sunday. Our hours are the same as the Museum Center, and occasionally you'll find us open during the evening during our seasonal periods, such as the holidays, and be more than happy to help someone pick a gift that's a remembrance of your visit here at Museum Center.
Well, thanks, Barbara. This has been a real pleasure.
Well, thank you very much. Come again. Thanks.
And I'm here with Linda Bailey, reference librarian at the Cincinnati Historical Society Library. And Linda, I don't think a lot of people are aware of the vast treasury of information that is here for the public.
We have just an amazing amount of material. There's genealogy material for all the family researchers. We have over 1 million photographs. We have a manuscript collection with letters, diaries, all type of material on families, businesses from Cincinnati, and as well as printed works. Rare books, periodicals, all types of material on Cincinnati dating back to the founding of the city and from the old Northwest Territory.
Well, when I was in high school and you were up in Eden Park, I remember coming to the library and getting wonderful research information for term papers. And I know that the library is in fact open to the public. Could you tell people a little bit about the library's hours and if there's a cost associated with using this facility?
We're free to the public. We're open from Monday through Friday from 12 to 5 and then on Saturday from 9 to 5.
Well, I'll tell you what, for anyone in our city that would like to find out more information on the founding of this town and some of the background, look through wonderful newspapers and, as Linda said, old diaries and journals and photograph albums. This is a wonderful resource, and I hope you'll think about using it. Thanks, Linda.
You're welcome.
And I'm here now with Jeff Seibert, who is the Development Director for Special Events here at the Museum Center. And Jeff, tell us about membership programs at the museum.
The museum has a great deal on membership. The entire family can come see every museum under the Explorer membership, which is $75 for an entire year.
Wow, that is a tremendous bargain. And if we do have viewers that are considering a membership at the Museum Center, is there a number that they can call for information?
Yes, they can call 287-7000, ask for membership, and they'll give you all the information you need.
And of course, in our picture here, you can see we're standing at the ticket kiosk. So if you come down to Museum Center, there's always someone here on staff that can help answer your questions and get you signed up. Isn't that true?
That's right. Friendly, just look for the friendly face with the badge.
Well, we certainly appreciate our time at the Museum Center here today, and I know our viewers will enjoy the program. And I hope you've enjoyed watching, because we've certainly had a great time here today, and we look forward to seeing you on our next program. Thanks, everyone. A special thanks to the Museum Center employees and management for all their assistance in filming this program. For information on Museum Center hours and pricing, OmniMax showtimes, membership, or upcoming special events, please call 287-7000. Outside Cincinnati, call toll-free 1-800-733-2077. Southwest Ohio Magazine would like to thank our sponsors for their support of this program. Tim's Jewelry Shop. Visit Tim at his new location, 785 Ohio Pike in Withamsville, across from St. Thomas More Church. And Simpson's Security, 58 East Main Street, Amelia, Ohio. Simpson's Security, always watching.